in.
No way, that's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah.
Oh.
So I told you guys, 5-minute mark. Anyway,
Hey.
welcome guys, welcome everyone to episode 6 of the Bandit Hideaway, which is actually on a Saturday for the first time because I think we had to really grab at this topic really quickly. But yeah, really happy to do it, and we have some really lovely guests on this evening. We're going to start off with my lovely co-host, who is GhostArya. So please go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey. So I'm Arya, and Zubi brought me in today to be his moral support, I think, or something like that. Anyway, you can find me here on Twitch. At GhostArya, I stream Gwent and other stuff. You probably know that. And if my hamster rakes anytime during the podcast, I will be back and gone. So just so you know, because he's more important than.
All right, but other than moral support, Arya, why don't you tell the lovely people what you do so that it can, further clarify your role here, you could say.
Oh yeah. So I'm actually a therapist. I work with personality disorders. I work with addictions in outside of stream. So that's what I do, and that's why I have this kind of insight into, I don't know, psychology in general, people behavior, stuff like that. So that's my background.
Alrighty. Interesting. Yes, very interesting. All right, and another guest who we have on today is Mr. SpecimenGwent. He's definitely known. Zubedoo. Right, I see. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Specifoof or whatever. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, I am SpecimenGwent. I play Gwent, obviously. I started like 4 years ago, almost. I'm almost at my 4-year stream anniversary, believe it or not. Just play Gwent a lot. I'm a teacher, but I'm at the moment just full-time streaming. So when I started, I was at university. I've graduated since, and man, just stream Gwent most days now. I upload on YouTube as well.
Nice. Alrighty, so that was a quick intro. Thank you for that.
Oh, and I'm so sorry. I'm so unprofessional. I've also recently been playing Pokemon, where I was doing a Nuzlocke challenge where you go into each route. The first Pokemon you can see, you have to catch. And I saw a Bidoof, and Pabs suggested that we call it Zubedoo. So that is how I'll forever know Zubedoo.
Well, at least you will remember me, and I appreciate that a lot. Okay, and our final guest that we have for today is, I think, definitely one of the biggest Gwent streamers that we have out there right now, Mr. Spyro. So go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I've been streaming Gwent for, I don't know, like 2.5-ish years now. It's been quite a journey indeed. Spent a lot of time streaming. I'm sure you guys know that I stream quite a bit. Like today we had a pretty long stream with the qualifiers, which is quite exciting. But yeah, thank you for having me. It's gonna be interesting to have a chat with you guys about some things.
All right, and just to be clear, this is basically like a platform that you guys have here, right? You and Spyro, basically Speci and Spyro. So go ahead, you can say whatever you want, you can be as open as you want, there's no restrictions. So, and just another thing, so addressing the elephant in the room, right? So I think we've most probably read the Reddit post from like a week ago that it was mostly spoken about Spyro and Speci. It was quite clear on that. So we're not here to talk about the post itself or the person who wrote it as such. We're just here to talk about points of view and how you deal with it and stuff like that, right? So I think the first simple question that I would like to ask you guys is, and I think Speci already began by saying that, is you've been streaming for a really long time, right? And you've given a lot of time to this game and to the community and things like that. So Speci, again, how long have you been streaming? 4 years, you said.
Yeah, so I started Gwent like 2017 when I was at uni. I had like no money. I was too busy spending money on other things. So no money. I was going down to the shops every day and buying like £1 pizza. I worked at Subway, so I'd have like a free Subway salad for my lunch, and that was it, right? So obviously I was looking on the PlayStation free games. I was like, what could I get that's free? And I saw Gwent, and I played Witcher 3. I I watched like a YouTube review of Witcher 3 like a year before, and really enjoyed Gwent on it. Then just bought it. Then for my 21st birthday, which was in 2017, I bought a PlayStation camera, started streaming my games. I actually played against Spyro in a PS4 tournament back in 2017. He did beat me, but he did bug abuse with a bug. That is the only reason we had to restart. It was a tactical restart, and he knocked me out of my own tournament in, I think, the first round. So that wasn't ideal. And then over the years, like, I had like a few dodgy periods, like with mental health and kind of stuff when I was at uni, like almost dropped out of uni. Managed to clutch up, but like a lot of the time I wasn't streaming. I'd sort of come back home every summer. I would stream for like 3 months and then disappear. And then I graduated a couple years ago. And then I was just into my first teaching job when lockdown happened. And then suddenly I was working from home, had loads of time. And then built myself a PC because Gwent on PlayStation got discontinued in 2019. And I started streaming again last year and like pretty much done it every day since. And enjoying it. Obviously, I've become better as a player as well recently, like trying to be more competitive. But like Gwent's the only card game I've played, and obviously I've sunk like 4 years of time into it. So it's clearly a game I enjoy a lot and have a lot of passion for.
Yeah, that's actually lovely to hear. And Spyro, what about you? I think you said around two-ish years, I think, you've been streaming this game?
Yeah, basically, since the early stages of Homecoming. I mean, I've been playing Gwent for a long time. I started playing all the way back in the beginning of Open Beta, but I only started streaming towards the early stages of Homecoming when it finally came out on console. When I first started streaming, I didn't have a PC, so I streamed through my PS4, which was less than ideal. Eventually, I decided to make the jump over to PC, and that definitely helped out a lot. And ever since then, obviously, I've been streaming quite consistently, usually about 6 hours a day. It's been quite tiring, I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely not something that that I think a lot of people are quite suited for, because it takes a lot of time. People don't really when you see streaming, you often think that it's an easy job, right? You just sit at home, you stream some games, it's fun, right? You just but it takes a lot. You actually, especially in the Gwent scene, you have to really dedicate quite a lot of your time to streaming it. And it doesn't really leave much room for much else a lot of the time, which is definitely an adjustment to make for most, I would say.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's not as easy as people say, that's for sure. I myself know that as well. But all right, let's get on with some questions regarding what's been going on recently as well. Yeah. So of course, this question and a few others which we'll be following is open to both of you. So whoever wants to go first can go ahead. So we hear this T word going around a lot, right? And I'm sure you guys know what the T word is, and that is toxic. So,
Wait, why isn't that a D word? Did you say a D word?
T.
I just misheard you. I was like, D word.
T. Wait, did everyone hear D? Okay, I said T. T for, tolerable or something. All right. So, when you hear that word toxic, oh my god, baby Joseph, don't say that. When you hear that word toxic, what's your initial reaction to it? Like, how do you guys feel when somebody calls you that? How do you feel?
I mean, personally, I don't really care because I don't think it's true. I don't know, like, obviously it's not ideal. I think it's important to understand that places like Reddit are public forums where anybody's able to say what they want. And, like, ultimately as well, like, if people are going to talk about Gwent streamers, Reddit is kind of the logical place to do that, right? So if someone wants to call me toxic, I don't really care. I can be, obviously, like, I'm not really someone that's just going to sit there and smile if I'm not happy. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to show my emotions. Same with, like, if there's somebody that is talking to me in my chat in a way that I don't like, I'm not just going to, like, /ban. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to try and mug them off because they're trying to mug me off. So that's just kind of how I am. Like, when I grew up, I had lots of mates that, they're trying to take the mick. So some people might, like, see my sense of humor maybe as being a bit toxic or whatever, but I don't think many people do for the most part. And it's just like, whatever, man. Like, people can talk. People have a right to talk. But obviously, if, like, you've got a big group of people, like, coming for you, because I don't think that was necessarily the case with me. I think it could be a lot different, right? But I think, like, obviously Spyro, like, is the person that Reddit seems to have a bit of an obsession with. And I think when it gets to that point where there's, like, people that are just saying it, like, all the time, then of course it's going to be having more of an impact, right? Like I think even just the single Reddit post, which I wasn't really mentioned that much in. Obviously, I was by the main guy, but in the comments, there wasn't loads of people. There certainly were a few, but like that did have an impact on me. Like I woke up, I streamed that day. I got really mad on stream. I was getting really annoyed. I was pulling up the Reddit post. I was like tabbing out of Gwent, showing the Reddit post. Obviously, it does have an impact, but it's more like when it's just a lot of people, like they just all leech together and they're suddenly like, yeah, I'm just gonna like say a load of stuff that's kind of been brewing that you would never say to that person. Like if you met them, you'd be like, oh, all right, mate. Like a perfect example, in one of Bush's recent videos, he played a deck of mine. There was some guy in the comments saying, oh, I think Specimen's a bit of a twat, but this looks like a good deck. And then I recognize the username in my own YouTube comments like a week later saying, oh, this is a great deck, thanks, mate. So it's like, whatever, man. You know, like you just don't really know what these people are, who they are. And I think a bandwagon is very easy to hop on. If somebody writes a post like saying someone's toxic, everyone's gonna hop on that's got a bad opinion of people. Yeah. So.
Wow, that's a good answer actually. I love that. Spider, what do you think?
I have to agree with most of what Space has said pretty much. It does seem like a lot of people also using it as a buzzword, like they're not really understanding what it really means to be like a truly toxic person. Is like it's just being extremely overused. Also very, very exaggerated comments in that Reddit thread as well. Like I believe the main poster said something about, I mean, I don't know who exactly it was referring to, but he basically said, I think along the lines of Spiro called me a clown and does not deserve respect. Now, I don't remember ever saying to someone they do not deserve respect or anything. Like a lot of these comments have been completely exaggerated. I know people have taken this to even like other streamers' chats. I remember one person in chat with Gwent, I think his life coach streaming, he types in chat, he's like, Spiro banned me because I said I don't like his deck, and then one of my mods pulled up the ban history, and the guy was banned because he came into my chat and he literally just out of the nowhere, I believe I wasn't even me that banned him. He said your deck is dog shit, and then someone banned him. Like it's people just exaggerate things and twist things in such a completely non-true manner sometimes, and it also feels like, as basically like a lot of people just gang up on. They see a buzzword, they go, okay, right, time to. This guy's trashing it. Now's my time to shine. I'm gonna start trashing, and then just leaves like a whole pack of people just all taking turns to try trash talk as much as they can. Which I find that kind of behavior more toxic than what I'm being like called out on being toxic for. And as basically mentioned, when we're streaming 6 hours a day or whatever, and especially when you're playing at a competitive level, not every play people make is going to be good. Not every deck is going to be good. I do understand the game well enough to understand what are bad plays, what are good plays, and I don't put on a fake smile every day and go and just say, yep, good play, good this, good deck, good this, and be a fake person. I want to actually have my real initial emotions and whatnot, and it's kind of annoying that I'm either expected to completely censor myself and become a fake person or be labeled as toxic, which is kind of frustrating. It's also kind of annoying that that this whole hive mind mentality of, you know, see one person getting picked on, let's all just jump on with it, is also kind of just a bit frustrating too. Like, it's not very difficult to put on a fake smile and just, you know, pretend and say things you don't really want to be saying, but it's just not me. And as Spacey said as well, like sometimes people in chat like to come troll and whatnot, and you could also just ban and just be done with it, but a lot of time I feel like these people, especially the really trolly ones, if they get banned, they're just going to jump onto the next streamer and try troll them. So I kind of a lot of time do react and, you know, retaliate, and then I obviously get looked at as the toxic one for retaliating. But I mean, it's, like sometimes people get away with too much, and I don't exactly like to let them get away with everything they want in my chat. So yeah.
Okay, so I think Arya and I can both say that I think that really came from the heart from you two. You know, that you guys are really speaking up the truth. So that's actually really nice to hear, and that's exactly what I want. But okay, apart from, you know, hearing such words and hearing such stuff like toxic or whatever, in general, like how do you, you know, deal with feedback as such? Like, you know, in general, not only about if it's bad or good, how do you deal with it in general?
Depends on the.
Go on, Spiro.
It depends on the feedback. If I look when I see comments, I look at them and go, is that true? To what extent is that true? And if I do find it to be true, then I'll obviously try work on it. But a lot of things that it's completely exaggerated that I don't. I mean, for example, one of the things that I know I do struggle with is the way I do tend to react a lot to things in chat, more so than maybe I should, and that's something that is difficult, but something that I do try work on. Depends on the feedback. I mean, I do react a lot. Like one day there was someone in my chat. I mean, it wasn't even about me. Someone was complaining in my chat about another streamer called Satchim, who's, for those who don't know, she's a Russian streamer, and the person was complaining that she doesn't stream in English. And I got so upset about this because I was like, you're coming into my chat to complain about another streamer because she's not streaming in the language that you want them to stream in. And that kind of entitlement, or that like, how can you actually feel like you have the right to go into someone else's stream to complain about another streamer for not speaking in English? It just blew my mind. I got very, very upset about it. And everyone in my chat was kind of going, why are you letting a troll make you so upset? And it's not even about you. Why are you getting so annoyed about it? But I got frustrated because it's something that as a streamer, the sense of self-entitlement where you expect a streamer to behave in the way you want them to behave, talk in the language you want them to talk, act in the way you want them to act. I feel like it's very unrealistic because everyone's different. Everyone's going to talk differently. Everyone's going to behave differently. And the thing about Twitch is it's a free platform. You can watch a stream. If you don't like them, you can move on. No one's forcing you to watch a certain streamer. If you don't like their language, their way of talking, their whatever, their personality, you can just click on another stream. No one, you don't. It's not something that's a problem for you. Which is why I get quite frustrated when people have the sense of self-entitlement to the point where they think that it's their right that every streamer has to behave exactly the way they want them to behave, which I find quite frustrating sometimes.
Right. And Speci, you were going to say something as well?
Honestly, I can't remember what I was going to say. My memory's so bad, mate. Like, I think it was like, how do I react? I mean, like, usually speaking, if someone comes into my chat and like talks rubbish, I kind of relish that opportunity. Like, a lot of the time I've had mods like just ban someone. I'm like, no, I want to let this guy speak because they're just chatting shit and they're making themselves look like an idiot. However, I have to confess, the last like 3 weeks or so, like, I have at times got very, very pissy with particular members of the chat. And of course, like, now I've been back streaming for like a year, my channel's growing quite a bit. So like the amount of people in my chat now compared to 6 months ago is a lot more, right? And I think as soon as you get to that point, chat becomes a lot less wholesome. Like, you can do your best to like create an amazing community, and I think, you know, I love my chat. There's great people in there, great people in the community. However, of course, there's going to be new people joining, and not everyone you're going to like. So, I mean, just this week I had some guy mention my weight, and usually I'd be like, but I have been piling on a few pounds and I wasn't in a very good mood. So I may have accidentally risen to the bait and called them out and said, get banned. And then I decided I don't even want to ban them because I just don't care enough. But it does reach a point where, of course, if you've got people saying things, little things, I think that's a big difference between just when you're starting streaming and maybe when you've been streaming for a longer period of time, especially in Gwent, like where Spyro, for example, is often going to be the top of the category when he's streaming. Yeah. You're going to get lots of people in there that don't necessarily want to be there for Spyro, they want to be there to watch Gwent. And that's just a natural thing that happens when you get to the top of the category, right? So there are going to be people that are making comments to Spyro to try and wind him up. And obviously when you're getting that like all the time, of course it can frustrate you a lot more, and you maybe don't deal with it how you most would like to, because at the end of the day, people making these comments probably want a rise from you. There's people that do that, innit? Like, they will go into Twitch chats and try and annoy people. I
think that's cool. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Like, a lot of the time, like, it's you one or two annoying comments you can kind of just brush under and kind of ignore it, but sometimes, you know, you get like it's like blow off, just annoying trolly comment, and then it kind of builds up, and then, you know, eventually you might lash out at the first troll, the second troll you might ignore, the third troll, the fourth troll you might ignore, but the fifth troll, you know, kind of snaps something, and that's the one you lash out at. And then, you know, sometimes people they join the stream, they see you like being annoyed or angry at a troll, and they're like, oh, he's being tilted, or he's being toxic again. Guess I'm gonna go make a Reddit post or whatever. Now, to be fair, I'm not always completely innocent of like not. Sometimes I am salty. Sometimes I am frustrated at the game. There are times when it's a game. There's RNG involved. When people spend 6 hours a day like playing it at a high level and trying to like compete at a certain level, and things don't go their way. I mean, as expected, there might be times where the person is upset or frustrated or more easily able to get pushed over the edge, and then people kind of take that opportunity to try grind the gears and try get reactions out of them, and that can be a bit difficult to exactly always perfectly respond to in the right way when you doing it every single day for 6 hours a day. But people don't really understand how difficult it can be to always. You can't always put on a persona and act in the way that everyone wants you to act. Sometimes sometimes you're just you, and it's not always easy to perfectly handle every single annoying comment that gets thrown your way.
Spiro, I think what you're saying here is really important because the experience you have as a streamer is continuous, right? You're there every day for several hours, etc. But the viewer that comes in usually has it like a one-on-one thing. When they write the thing in the chat, they think that they're directly interacting with you, and they don't really see that there was 2 more people before that were already being a little trollish or something like that, and that might lead to the impression that a streamer is being toxic towards one person because they feel like it's more personal because it's them initiating something, and they don't really see the hours and people you talked to before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I think in regards to the Reddit post as well, linking to Arya's point, it's about some guy that's obviously played against Spiro and me on Pro Ladder. They've maybe beaten us, maybe lost. We don't bloody remember because we play 30 games of Gwent a day. It's a lot, so it all blends into one. Like we don't have a clue who this guy is, what happened, what the circumstances were, what was said. But he's clearly coming, beating us, as he says. Let's take his word for it, sure. And then we've reacted badly. Like
it's also
Gwent, it's against a random. It's not against a person. It doesn't feel like it because you can't see the name. So you've been calling someone saying, "This guy, what are they doing?" Sometimes I've said, "What is this person doing?" Then it's been Colomon. Still means there were bad plays. Just because it's Colomon doesn't suddenly change that. Like not everyone plays perfectly all the time, Like there's been times I've played against Red Drame. He's played like what I thought was terrible, and I've said that at the time, and afterwards I'm like, "Oh wow, that's kind of surprising." Like just because I say somebody's playing badly, I don't have a name attached to it. It's not a personal dig. If you come in my chat afterwards and you're like, "Oh yeah, GG mate," and I'm kind of unhappy because I feel like I lost and I didn't deserve to, and that does happen in Gwent. And when you play as much as Spyro and I, there are of course going to be games that are like that where you don't necessarily deserve to lose. Your opponent didn't play very well, but they won because they had a certain deck, and it's not a personal thing, man. Like I'm playing a game, I'm obviously trying to compete as well at a reasonably high level, so I do get frustrated when I lose, of course I do. I do get salty. But don't take it personally, man, because it's not really in Gwent a personal thing. I'm not airing you because of your username. I've already been, making my judgment. It could be payable. I'm just saying this person's not playing well. I'm not attacking a direct person.
I love the way you put it, because every player, and I mean every player plays. There are times where people make mistakes. The best players in the world. I've played against everyone. I've seen good players play badly. I've played badly many times myself. Sometimes I play games like a complete trash can. It happens. Everyone plays badly at some point. It's not a. And yes, it can be very frustrating sometimes when someone does play badly, and maybe you miss out on certain cards, or maybe you play a matchup that you just can't win, and it doesn't actually matter because you don't have a way to win, even if your opponent plays in a certain bad way, and that can be a very frustrating experience sometimes. And it's definitely, it's not, as basically mentioned, not a personal thing. Like sometimes you play against a deck that doesn't really make much sense. Maybe the deck will only win 1 matchup out of 10 games, but because they queued into you, and that deck is very good against you, it can feel very frustrating to play against. And because they've won that 1 game against you, but they're probably losing like other 4 games against other opponents. So I don't know. At the end of the day, it's especially it's not a personal thing. You don't even see the person's name when you're up against them. It's just you're basically playing against an AI until the names are revealed at the end. and it's just people commenting on what they see in front of them. Is a person playing well? Is a person not playing well? People play badly. Everyone plays badly from time to time. It's not a big deal, and it's not something that really should be taken super personally.
Yeah, and again, you guys play this game for so long, there will come a point where you just feel like, oh my god, today has been such a crazy day. And you just, you do feel like that sometimes. You just feel like that little frustration, right? Like if you're not winning games or something, or no, you're making silly mistakes, it happens. We are all human after all, right? Everyone makes mistakes. But yeah, I think taking it to the extent that some people do is totally wrong. Like, I can give us an example myself. I remember when I was facing King Ches on ladder and he called me monkey. Did I take it seriously? No, it's just a game. Like, it's just a game of Gwent. So, it's like, if you guys take it that seriously, it's like, don't play the game. Like, literally, don't play it.
I've played King Ches on ladder, and he's called me a monkey many times. many times. I would queue into him, and then
He called me a monkey recently.
be like, oh no, he's beating me here, and now, mate, look at me. I'm the best. I'm better than King Ches. If he wants a 1v... I actually played him in 1v1 recently and I lost, so I shouldn't say. I'll stop talking. But it's not a personal thing. And as Zarya says, it's an interesting point from their perspective. They've just beaten this streamer. They're going to go in. The chat's going to be patting them on the back. What a fantastic deck. You played so well, because they probably think they did. And you might have a different... If the streamer has a different opinion, they're going to be like going from this feeling of like, yes, I've done it, I've pulled it off. Because I feel the same when I play against a streamer. I'm gassed. Like when I played against Life Coach the other day and I beat him, I was so chuffed.
Yeah.
Of course you will be. And then if I was to go into Life Coach's stream and he'd be like, this guy is an idiot, I'd be like, oh my goodness, that's... So I feel the pain. Yeah. But you've just got to understand, like, man, don't take it. If the not even most people come into my chat and GG me afterwards, which a lot of streamers don't appreciate. I don't really care. Like, whatever, man, cool. But if you catch me at a moment where I'm salty, I'm not having a good day, things haven't been going my way, I probably haven't been playing that well. Yes, I'm gonna get aggy, mate. I used to play FIFA and smash controllers. I'm not good at losing. Like, losing and me is a bad combo. I will hold my hand up and say yes, but I don't think I've ever, like, personally attacked anyone because they've beaten me again. That's just outrageous. Like, I've had some geezer that's been commenting on most of my things going, oh, did Specimen call people a douche or an idiot? And, like, in fairness, I probably have recently been throwing around a few words, like clown and monkey, that maybe aren't the best things to be saying. I can definitely appreciate that. So, yeah, just try and learn, whatever. But at the end of the day, you beat me. Like, whatever. Congrats. Get over it, man. Like, if I'm salty, I'm salty. The joke's on me then, right? You won at the end of the day. I'm just a sore loser, so... I don't think it's toxic. It's just competitiveness. Sorry.
Sorry. I thought you were finished. I was doing some digging before the podcast to see if someone did some actual research on, like, people on stream and how much people watch them, etc. And then seems to be like an actual correlation between streamer being aggressive and the amount of people that watch them being higher. So it seems that, like, short term, people get hyped because they see that someone is actually being a little mean or a little rude because it feels funny, it feels entertaining. And most people who watch Twitch go there to release. They go there to release their everyday stress and, like, worries they have. And so it seems like it creates this, like, short-term hype around, you get more streamers, therefore you get more viewers, therefore you as a streamer get a little bit like, oh, happy tingly feeling, I have more people in my chat because I was maybe, flaming a bit. But what happens next could be that doesn't really work long-term. And that just seems interesting to me, that again, it shows that long-term and short-term game is a little different thing. And I wanted to ask one thing. If you were guys streaming again from the beginning, would there be something you would do completely differently? Like in regards interaction with chat?
Yeah, I would flame them more. I think, like, banter's so important to have with chat. And, like, I think... one thing I've always done is I'll make jokes and I'm like, oh, I'm just joking. I don't do that anymore because I think it kind of kills the joke. So I would probably just, be less apologetic. Just if you, not everyone's going to like you, I guess. Like, it's obviously to an extent. I think that, if I'm honest, the big thing with streaming that I would do again is be more consistent for sure. But, like, just as like without consistency and, like, amount of time commitment, that kind of thing. If we say, I would just say, yeah, be more genuine with the chat. Like if somebody says something you don't like, that's fine. You can tell them that. And as you say, like I do feel like there is a correlation between interacting with chat negatively or positively, like does boost your viewers. Like if you click on a lot of the big streamers, they will pick a comment out. Like you look at XQC, for example, he's got all these donations that are like basically mugging him off, right? It sells, to be honest. So I think like interaction with chat's the biggest one, but don't be afraid to annoy people. If that's like I am, I'm quite a big personality in that sense. Like that's my banter really. Like I'll have a joke and I'll try and mock people and stuff, but like people in the chat know me, can take it. So yeah, I don't know if that
So
was a
you're
good
basically
answer.
saying be more yourself from the start, so then you don't feel pressured to.
Yeah,
be
I guess
normal.
just like don't be afraid of annoying people. Like you're not going to please everyone, as I found out recently as well. So I think just if you've got like a dark sense of humor, use your dark sense of humor. You know, like whatever, it's fine.
I mean, when I watch lately, I haven't been watching much streamers, but I like looking when I watch a streamer. I like to see someone I can feel like I can actually get to know them as a person, as in like I can watch them and know who they are. But when you watch someone that's got like anyone can act, well, anyone, but like a lot of people can act. You watch act. If I want to watch actors, I'll watch a movie. I don't find it enjoyable to really watch streamers that you feel like they have like a fake persona usually. That's why I never really liked, for example, Dr. Disrespect, for example, because I just never felt that was actually who he really is. So it's not someone I ever liked. I prefer to watch someone like XQC, for example, because XQC is probably someone that's more real. Like, and that's the thing. I like being who I am. I don't want to have to, randomly just smile every day and just go, hello everyone, how are you? It just doesn't feel like something I want to do. So I don't think I would really change too much. I kind of like being being myself and being how I am, because I don't feel like a viewer wants to watch a fake persona, because I mean, anyone can act or watch a movie if you want to watch acting.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, if you want to watch acting, you just watch a movie, right? That's the thing. I think as you guys as well, I don't think you're putting up fake personas or anything at all. I think all of us are just being ourselves and just trying to play a game of Gwent. That's it, the end. So if these guys, exactly as you said, I think that's the perfect sentence. If you want to watch acting, watch a movie. Okay. So, I think we can come back a little bit on the T word again. And I said T this time, I know I did. So, some people think that, more toxic, okay, that equals more viewers or something like that. They always kind of act this direct positive correlation, between streamers' behavior being labeled as toxic or aggressive and the number of, the viewers and things like that. So how do you guys understand that? How would you guys like to comment?
I kind of mentioned it before, but like I've been streaming for 4 years almost, and I've had one Reddit post calling me toxic, and that's when I've probably had peak viewership over the 4 years. So I think naturally, as you get more people joining your stream, it's more likely there's going to be more people trying to wind you up. And I also think in Spyro, in my case, like I certainly have been playing more competitively, which, as I've mentioned, trying to play competitively, I can get frustrated. So yeah, like I would certainly say there's a correlation there, but I would maybe say it's because you don't have that close-knit community where it feels a lot more like everyone. You can't, like, for example, I had Cheddar Paw in my chat the other day, and I just wanted to chat to Cheddar Paw the whole time, but you kind of can't, because you've got the chat's moving quick, you're playing a game. And when you've got that kind of thing, like there's just like little comments that can just slip through, and all it takes is one that catches your eye on a bad day, and you're like, BAM! No! And then I'm calling this guy a dickhead, because guess what? They're massive, just being dickhead. They need to be told that. But they also don't, you can let it go, and then everyone else that's watching it is suddenly like, oh, this guy, he's calling out this poor guy in the chat, what did they do? But you might not necessarily know the story behind it. So yeah, I think probably the main thing is, of course, the more viewers you have, the higher the percentage is that there's somebody in there that's there to wind you up, not there to, support you and want to see you do well. There's people that do enjoy seeing people mess up and get angry. So I'm one of them. I love it. I think it's great. Like when Spyro was raging at the game-breaking bug, it was the best thing I've ever seen. And that's content. And it's the same. If you're getting frustrated at a game, people are still watching. It's not like you start getting frustrated and your viewership like halves. That's not how it works. So clearly people just want to see the genuine reaction at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. I mean, I want to also add to what you're saying about competitive play. Like if you watch like professional football players and things don't go their way or whatever. I've seen pro players, like the world's biggest football players, smashing the ground, rage. Like you can see them throwing little mini temper tantrums on the field. I've seen pro like the world's best tennis players, and I was like smashing probably like $5,000 rackets on the floor when they get upset about things. Like when you're playing something at a high level competitively, you really have a big drive to win. And when things go wrong, especially when they're out of your control, it can be frustrating. And sometimes you might get caught in the heat of the moment, and you might be a little bit less able to think clearly and react to things in a way you might have otherwise done so if you're off the field or out of the moment. But it's you can't expect people to always be in the perfect mood, in the perfect way every single day, especially when people are like, for example, me and Specia, we're on camera like a quarter of the day, like a quarter of our lives is spending on the camera. So at least of our waking lives, you're going to see it like it's half our waking lives on the camera. So you're going to see pretty much like how we are all the time, and you can't expect someone to always be happy and always be in a good mood and always have a smile on their face, because that's just not how humans work.
Yep. That's very accurately said. Okay, Speci, a little bit of a specific question for you.
Oh,
So,
I'm nervous.
nah, it's fine. It's to do with the Reddit thing again. But see, in that mentioned, Reddit post, you basically did apologize, right? As you said, and I think you said that sometimes it can get frustrating, which is completely understandable and even makes sense because of the daily Gwenting that you do. But how can you find the balance between being authentic on stream and also remaining polite and kind as they want? How would you do that?
I mentioned it many times during the podcast, so it's maybe interesting to like put it all together. How do you
Yeah.
achieve that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm a pretty patient person. Like, when I'm teaching, that's like one of the things that when I was getting observed as a teacher, they'd mention that, oh, you're so patient, blah, blah, blah. So that's like one skill I've got. I'm quite patient, which I think can just help me sort of deal with it. Also, like, again, my banter with my friends was always very brutal. Like, it's not uncommon to people be making fun of your dad or your mum or your sister. Anything like that is fair game with my group of friends. So I'm very much used to just taking things from people. So I've kind of got, big skin. Usually I will try and make a joke of it. Like if someone comes in and sends for me, I'm quite confident that I could just, twist it and then put the, okay, who are you? Like, why are you saying this to me? But yeah, certainly recently, if I have found myself getting really frustrated, it's logging off, right? Like when this Reddit post came out, I'd been live for an hour and a half, and there was some guy in the stream going, "You should just end the stream, take a break." And mate, it was the most frustrating thing I've ever heard in my life. This person telling me I know I need to end the stream, but I don't want to hear that from you because I'm not happy. But I ended the stream, which was a good thing. Taking some days off, making sure you got time. Taking days off with streaming is a weird one because every time you're not streaming on Twitch, somebody else is. Every time you're not live is an opportunity potentially missed. You look at the biggest streamers, they're streaming 10 plus hours a day, a lot of them, right? So there is, and you look at Spyro, he's top of the Gwent category. He's streamed every day for a set amount of time, and that is because Twitch rewards this kind of thing, right? It's just how it works. Like, people know that I'm going to go on Twitch. Who's live at this time? Oh, I know Spyro. He's always live. I can bank on that. That's a good thing, right? So taking breaks is a thing, but it's obviously kind of difficult. Like, if you're not streaming, like when I took this day off, I ended my stream early. I felt like crap because, I've got YouTube videos I need to make. What else am I doing if I'm not streaming? Am I using my time the best? So, yeah, I would say try and make fun of people that come in sending for you. You can probably try and twist it on them. Ban people you don't want to listen to. Have mods do it as well. Take some time off. Exercise, diet. They're probably the biggest two ones, which unfortunately I'm not doing a great job with either at the moment. And socializing, which I think, like, particularly this last year, like, man, it's been so tough. Like, I barely been out. So chances are if somebody sees me, and like on this Reddit post, some guy was talking about actualization, and like, what am I looking for in life? Why is this game of Gwent? It's like, mate, you think I don't know these things? Like, yeah, okay. Like, I want to be going out and socializing, but like, I've had a year of I am stuck at home. I'm trying to make the best of it. Who are you to be telling me that I shouldn't be, like this guy was telling me about, I shouldn't be leaving my career if I feel the need to stream every day. It's like, bruv, who are you talking to? And another person also said that they don't like me because I use the word bruv and sus. So that was another comment. So
it's just the entitlement
these
thing.
these
again,
little
like,
things just stick with you, though, you know. This
is what I mean, right? It's just like people being entitled. Like, I want you to talk in a certain way. I want you to have the accent I want you to have. I want you to. It's like it's crazy. Like I don't understand how people can be so entitled where just like accent things or whatever can bother people. It's crazy to me. But yeah, I mean the thing that bothers me the most, I think, at the end of the day, is the fact that like you got to keep in mind that most of the Gwent streamers, they're doing what they're doing. It's streaming at the most part is it for a viewer. Obviously, it depends on the kind of viewer, but it's the streamers are doing it mostly for the majority of people for free, and we're taking a really lot of time out of our time to like actually provide content and whatnot, and to repay that with this kind of this kind of feedback. It feels really bad, right? Like when you think about like you spend so much time and then you kind of think, well, is what I'm doing even worth it anymore? If that's the kind of response you get, that's what I mean. Like there's so many better ways to deal with things. If you don't like a person, I mean, don't watch them. Maybe send a message, say, hey, I don't appreciate the way you said this or that about me, and yeah, but it just feels like people just try users to get some Reddit karma or tear someone down because they might personally not like them, which just feels wrong to me.
Yeah, like again, like I think to decompress and stuff, like after the stream or whatever, like as you said, I think what would you do, Speci, if you wanted to relax and decompress, after the stream or something? What?
I would go to the pub, I would meet a nice girl, and that'll be that. But I can't do that, Zubi. So do you know what I do instead? I decompress by joining a Discord call with some friends, and guess what they're doing, Zubi? They're playing Gwent. That's how I socialized. Why do you think the game frustrates me? Because, like, my social activity, my work, and my hobby, like, today, or let's say tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to wake up, yeah? I might watch a Twitch stream, say hello to some people, because guess what? I don't have friends. Apart from on Twitch, right? Then, step 2, I'm going to stream. I'm doing some casting tomorrow. Cool. What am I going to do afterwards? Well, I'm not going to go to the pub. I'm not going to, like, my friends don't really do, like, Skype calls or anything like that, my in real life friends. But you know who does? My Gwent friends. So I'm going to join a Discord call where Gwent is going on. I might even start Gwent up myself off stream. I do this most days. So yeah, like, it's not the best thing, is it? It's not the most healthy relationship to have, like, your hobby, your job, and your social activity all tied to a card game that's, like, it can get boring quite quick if you're not careful. And of course, therefore, there are days, certainly, where I get annoyed. And I think a big part of that is probably because I'm spending too much time on the game outside of stream. But it's hard, like I've got a lot of friends that play the game, so it's often the best way to just interact with other people and have some sort of social experience while being locked down. I've been so grateful this last year to have met so many cool people, all you guys included, I've got people that I would consider friends around the world now. So when things do start opening up, hopefully we can make the most of those sorts of things and go meet people, go to events and stuff. That'll be quality. But yeah, like, it's been a bit of a weird one, innit, like, this year for everybody. So when you have these Reddit posts that do call people toxic, it's like you kind of need to consider you've taken this small snapshot of them and, like, understand, like, okay, why are they getting frustrated? And it's kind of course there is, like, but quick story. Mega Mogwai banned me on Twitter like 3 years ago because blocked me on Twitter because he was one of the Gwent casters, and there were some people on Reddit saying that they didn't like his casting, and I just pointed out to him, I said, you can't really be calling these people out too much, because where else are they going to talk about your casting if they don't like it? Because it's a public platform. Like, you wouldn't have Harry Kane go on Twitter and go, oh, these Tottenham fans were calling me out. Like, this is not... Of course people are going to talk. So there's an element where you've got to respect it, but also having, like, a whole thread that's just a witch hunt is just too far.
Speaking of witch hunts, one thing that bothers me is that Reddit does have a rule of no witch hunting, and if this is not a witch hunt, then I don't know what is. So.
Yeah,
That's
that
why it
is
really
true.
bothers me.
Yeah, that is true. It's like Reddit are not, following their own terms of, use in terms of service or whatever by allowing such things to even, grow and continue. I think that after most of the comments that we saw on that Reddit post, I feel it should have been taken down. Like, I think it was going a little bit too far. People were just, you know, I think one guy even said that he was like this kind of kind of like this psychotherapist, and he knows a lot of things, and he's like commenting on these things like, no, I don't think you guys should say any of that. Like, you could just stop it there and maybe even take that post down. Like, it doesn't make any sense continuing and going on and on about the same thing. And coming back to that, I think I have something specific for Spyro as well. So, after that post and the day that, this Reddit thing was blowing out of proportion, I think you had put out a post, and I'll quote you on it if you don't mind, saying that, it's no secret that trying to make a living in in the Gwent scene is not exactly easy to do. So I've had to seek motivation elsewhere to keep myself going, right? And you also said that I will just leave it at that. I may or may not stream tomorrow, depending on how I feel and what I decide to do going forward. So I think seeing that post, many people would have been like, "Oh my god, is he gonna stop streaming Gwent? Is he gonna quit the game?" Like, and but you still came back the next day. It's not like you didn't come back, But so,
I mean,
how did you feel?
The first time there was a Reddit post like this, I kind of just shook it off and said whatever. Second time, it's getting a bit frustrating because, to be honest, a lot of the things I do is kind of try. One of my main goals has always been to try help people learn the game. Like, I want to provide a platform where people can, learn, watch, and that's why I make YouTube guides on advanced strategies, common mistakes. Now, I hardly make anything from YouTube videos, and it's probably a lot of it's probably my fault. I don't actually monetize or do it well enough. But the thing is, I do this a lot of the time. For a lot of things I do is to try help people. I want people to be able to learn, watch, get better. And when the feedback becomes so negative that I just feel like, well, what's the point if I'm not making that much and I'm not getting a nice response, then, well, like, why? That's the thing. And it's the motivation I've had has always been in the past to try help people and to try have a community of people that enjoy hanging out together and enjoy each other's company, and some people can just come and chill and hang out and learn about the game and learn to get better if they want to. But it can be very difficult when you get comments like that, and it makes you kind of question about, is what you're doing with your time really worth it? Because a lot of the time, pretty much my entire life at this point is devoted to what I'm doing right now. It's really difficult to do it if under the circumstances where you feel like, it's just getting met with that kind of negativity.
Yeah, I think saying such things, maybe, that's what they wanted, that's what they wanted from you to break and be like, oh, I'm not.
Yeah, that's kind of why I came back the next day, because I was kind of thinking that at the end of the day, if I don't stream the next day or whatever, then the Redditors, the ones that are doing this in the first place, they're gonna feel like they've won. They're gonna be like, yep, we've done what we needed to. He's given up. Yes, mission accomplished. So I kind of just wanted to, I guess my way of giving them the finger was say, well, I'm not going anywhere, so keep trying.
Listen, Spyro, if you ever want a day off, you just let me know. I will stream Gwent all day. You can tweet my stream out. You can say, guys, Specie's filling in for me today. It'll be great.
Feel free to have a bombardment of trolls.
Yeah, probably.
You can take all the.
But the thing also is that the negative feedback will always be the one you hear most or more. Because if you have to stream your size, like Spyro or Specie has, most people are lurkers. They're not even in the chat, and those people don't mind, or they actively enjoy the chat or the stream. They just don't, it's less likely that there's a person gonna come to you and be like, hey, you're a great streamer. No, people usually tell you have spinac in your teeth. They're not gonna tell you look good today. That's that's the kind of thing people tend to do more. So, and I'm really happy that even the chat right now is during what we're having here is being mostly actually supportive, and I think that the core of the community can be like that. It's just harder to see if you're faced with people who tend to nitpick on the bad things during every day.
Yeah, No, Spider, were you saying something?
No, I was just saying, yeah.
All right, okay. So, like, yeah, I think people, they don't understand how nice this community is. I think definitely when it comes to card games, I think Gwent definitely does have that wholesomeness that I definitely don't see in any other community. That's like 100% sure. And I think some people, kind of take advantage of that, thinking that, okay, no, people are not going to care about what I say about, or if I target a certain person. I don't care. I can say whatever I want. And I think that's certain thing that, that person was taking advantage of and was saying about, oh my God, there's so many copy pastors in chat. But, I think that is something that they should understand, right? That, hey, just because you have the freedom doesn't mean you take that and you just call people out and call them whatever words you want. And I think that's exactly what happened here, right? Because they know that you guys, don't really care. Okay, they went on and they said what they wanted. But I think there's a line, right? And would you say they crossed it?
I mean, I would definitely say so, but I mean, at the same time, I on the one hand,
there's no harm in saying it.
In the one hand, I do also believe in freedom of speech. I do believe people should be able to say what they want. But on the other hand, I also feel like there's a way in which you can get your opinion across without actually going for a full blown witch hunt, which just feels like one negative comment, throw another one, all taking shots, time off the just try add to the fire, which I just feel like that's kind of the line that gets crossed when you're just adding to a fire for no reason, just other than to try tear someone down further. That I think is probably the line that you need to start thinking about when you want to cross.
Yeah, like I apologize because I woke up to it and I was like, I wasn't really very impressed by the tone of the post. Like it had this. It had my name, it's Spyro's name, and then it just had this like random quotation that could have been said by either of us. And I know I'm pretty confident I wouldn't say that.
I'm pretty sure I didn't say the exact way he said as well. Like I don't remember ever saying this guy's a clown and deserves no respect or something like that. I don't recall that in my memory. The way he said it.
I messaged the guy that wrote the post. I'd already written like the apology in that because it's kind of like I was thinking kind of crowd control almost. Like to be fair, it's not the most surprising thing. I'm sure I did call him a clown after he played me. All right, like if I've hurt his feelings, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, So yeah, sorry if that's happened. But at the same time, like there's a lot of irony, isn't there? In like the fact that this guy is complaining about being called out for being a bad player. And then he's calling people out on a personal level, saying that they're unpleasant. I guess he's saying that, he's been called a clown that deserves no respect. So I guess it has got personal for him, in his opinion. So yeah, it is what it is, man. I think at the end of the day, like, there's going to be more Reddit posts. Some people are going to like you, some people aren't. But for me, like, what I really don't appreciate is when it's just targeted at Spyro, like it feels like it is. Like I can kind of brush it off, and even in the post, like I had a lot of people sort of saying, that they find it hard to believe, but like I just don't really understand why there's a need to have this on Reddit where like the mods just let this stick, because we're just people. Like we're gonna read it, and people are gonna make comments in there because they know you're gonna read it. Like this one guy that's been every Reddit post that mentions my name, he makes some sort of silly comment on there, and it's like.
I think
but when it gets to that point, I think like, just there's no need for it. Like we don't need that, man. Like especially like, it's important to remember when you're streaming. Like when this Reddit post came out, it's all people. You can't ignore it. You can't just like people saying just ignore it, just carry on. No, mate. Like first of all, because that's being disingenuous, which is kind of where this all comes from. Like if I'm feeling a certain way, I'm gonna say that. If I'm feeling sad, I'm going to tell my chat why I feel sad. If I'm happy, I want to share all those sorts of things with my community. Equally, if I'm annoyed. So it's important to remember that actually has a genuine impact and disruption to my day-to-day schedule. I had to stop my stream for the day. Now, okay, you could argue that's my issue, that I didn't deal with the Reddit post that well. But I wasn't having I woke up kind of feeling rubbish, and I was like, oh, right. Need to stream because that's what I sort of tell myself. I need to stream at this time. I've got a schedule. I've got people that expect me to be live at this certain time, Wake up and I see this, I'm like, rah, that's kind of a problem. And it's not like it's just something where I can go to work, come back, and then look at it, because my day is planned around streaming Gwent. And if that's all people are talking about, if that's all other streamers are talking about, like for the next week, I went into flipping Rashid's chat, and Rashid is like, oh, toxic streamer. Flipping Rashid, man. He was only joking, but yeah, it does have a flipping big impact, man. Like, I don't really, and it didn't really, it's not like there was like 50 people sending for me in this thing, like it feels like they were for Spyro. So of course it's gonna have a big impact on the guy. Like, I don't really understand why they're letting it stay up at all, if I'm honest. Seems pretty wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to just ignore some, like, it's not really something you can ignore when it directly relates to you, and it's just something that's out there in public that people are just like all saying about you. It's not exactly like something you can. It's different. Like if I go to a grocery store and some dude insults, I don't know, my face and says or says something, whatever, I'll ignore it, no problem. But it's not the same when it's like on Reddit or something like that. It's not something you can just ignore as easily. Like if someone insults me in real life or whatever, I'll ignore it. It's not a big deal. But just different in this situation.
Yeah. All right. So I think before we conclude, like in the next 5 minutes, what are your final thoughts? Like, do you have any final thoughts on this? Like, would you like to say anything, not only to Reddit, but like literally the community or anything? Like, would you like to just say as a final word?
Yeah, I would like to say, if
go on.
You play badly against me, don't expect me to say that you played well. Simple.
Yeah.
If I don't GG you, don't take it personally. Because I used to GG everyone. It's not that interesting. If you don't send a GG to someone, that's content, mate. People love it. If somebody, so just don't take it personally. If you play me after a game and I'm not very happy, it's not your fault. It's my fault. That's a me problem. I play the game a lot. I love the game, but we all know, especially when you're play the game like Spyro and I do so much, we know that we've been hard done by in a certain game. It happens probably at least once a day. Also, there are stream snipers around. There are people out there trying to cause you grief. It's not something I try and mention very often, but you look at Red Drame, like why is he not streaming every day when he's trying to compete? Because it's not actually a good idea to be streaming and trying to compete at a high level. But no, basically, if I've annoyed you at any point, I'm sorry. I'm a pretty chill guy, I would like to think. Can get a little bit leery. If you talk shit to me, I will talk shit back. Also, maybe Reddit mods, please, could we consider not letting these kinds of posts out? I'm all for discussion. I'm all for a Reddit thread that's about all sorts of streamers where people have discussions. I'm not about a Reddit thread that's, this guy, I don't like him. I have no evidence that this happened, but this happened, and I've got random quotation marks that could be this person, it could be this person, nobody knows. I'm going to tarnish these guys' reputation, and I'm going to let everybody join. Like, that's not, come on. It has a big impact. Like, it kind of completely killed my day.
All right.
Yeah, from my side, basically exactly what Spacer said ×2, and then I just want to also add that keep in mind that streamers are normal people, right? I don't care how big they are, I don't care whatever. Streamers are everyone else. People kind of look at streamers and they have like this weird imagination that streamers have like this higher being. They have this whole thing that they need to act in a certain way. Streamers are just like everyone else. There's no difference between me or anyone in chat or anyone else. So treat people the same way, or keep them to the same standard as you would to anyone else in the world, because streamers aren't different than anyone else. Keep that in mind.
And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch.
Yep.
Other people do want to watch, so clearly there's a reason for that. And again, you're welcome to your opinion, you're welcome to share your opinion, just probably not. Reddit mods, I would say, shouldn't be letting these kinds of like targeted posts be allowed there. It just seems pretty unfair.
Yep. And Arya, what would you like to conclude with, with what they've said and everything? Would you like to add anything to it?
No, I honestly really I really agree with what both guys said, that if you don't like it, don't watch it, just like click somewhere else. And I want to highlight one thing I heard from both of you guys that might have been like, not heard loud enough. Jesus, the thing you said that if you want to give me feedback, give it to me, like DM me. Let me know what I can do better. You both said it, but it shouldn't be on a Reddit post or in the middle of the chat or in like but if someone has like a good normal feedback to give you both said that you're open to it. And I think that's something people don't really maybe put two and two together, but streamers are people, and if you approach them like a normal person and say, hey, I saw this and I have this thought about it, then maybe you will actually like take it to heart. And it doesn't have to be weird, it doesn't have to be a Reddit post, it doesn't have to be toxic. So that's something I wanted to kind of highlight.
Yeah, that's perfectly right.
There's lots of nice people that do that sort of thing as well, and I think that's why with the Reddit post I sort of had a different take on it to Spyro, because it's sort of my first one, and I've sort of looked at it and like, okay, I can try and learn from this call, because it is still feedback. It might not be feedback that's particularly used in a constructive way, but I guess at the end of the day you have to sort of look and say there's a reason people are saying this. Like, I had like 6 or 7 people say they found my behavior toxic, so I've reflected on that and I'm going to try and improve. Okay, maybe not all these people are necessarily getting the right idea, but there's still 7 people saying that, so there's probably 7 more people out there that think the same. So I guess it's just still using this constructively, trying to learn from it, even if you don't really like it. That's what it is, man. Like, people will have their opinions, and ultimately as a streamer your objective is to please as many people as possible. So if there's little things you can do to improve on that, I guess it makes sense to do so.
Yeah, and I think if I have to conclude something here, like, I would say that, okay, if you do have some kind of something to say or something on your mind, I'm sure there's always someone out there to listen to you. You don't have to go out in public and just spread hate on someone just for just to feel personally happy or something. If you're going through something, I'm sure there's someone out there who will listen to you, right? You have your loved ones, you have your parents, you have your siblings, you have so many people who you can talk to, and I think, especially, I know what you mean. Yes, I can I can kind of relate to that as well, but I don't think that's the right way to do things, is all I'm saying from my end.
Yeah.
Right, there's always someone to listen to you. There will always be someone, as Denpai says, even in his streams and stuff, that if you have anything to say or anything that is affecting you mentally, talk to me. I'm always there. We have the Discord server to talk about it. So many things, right? So yeah, I think that's how I would conclude that as well. So I think with that we can call the episode here. And you guys have been absolutely lovely. Made my job really easy, actually. I didn't have to do much at all. And again, before we end, would you like to just let the people know where we can find you guys? Speci, starting with you.
No, thank you.
Good answer. All right, Spyro, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, just name underscores it is probably where you'll find me on most platforms.
And Arya, what about you?
It's fine.
GhostArya. Go and watch on Twitch. Is it an underscore? Is it an underscore? GhostArya underscore. No underscore?
No underscore. And I actually will be playing tonight, but usually people come to my streams not to watch Gwent, just to chat and talk about hamsters. That's a different kind of stream that you do have. You actually provide education about the game. I don't aim to.
You've improved a lot, though. Like, I remember watching you stream, and oh my goodness, it was a tough watch. But now, it's not so bad. No, you have improved though. You're what, like rank 9, I think, when you started streaming, something like that. So yeah, good to see.
Oh, that's a very sweet way of ending things.
Could be, however, yeah, you're a whole other story. You still need some work, mate.
I mean, I don't disagree.
Time to make a Reddit thread.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make a Reddit thread. I'm gonna post this clip right there. Nah, but anyway, guys, thank you again, and thank you for the lovely chat. I could see you guys being really active and really putting your points there. I was even reading some of them. It was really good, and yeah, thank you for maintaining the positivity, guys, in chat and my guests as well. You've been absolutely amazing. So we will be back soon with another episode very soon. I don't know about this week, but maybe the week following that. So be sure to check out the socials and stuff. So we will be ending it here, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. And know that someone out there always loves you. See ya.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Zuby.
Yeah.
And we're doing another giveaway for a subscription to the Bandit Gang YouTube channel, and the winner is... Oh, exciting! Woo! The winner is... It's you! Woohoo! You just activate that subscription down below. Congrats!